So thank you, Beck and Janet, for talking about the Bennington County Choral Society. You should tune into their concerts. They are fantastic to see. We went to film the Requiem one. It was awesome. So moving on, we've got a great premiere coming up on June 6th at the Laumeister Art Center for Cat TV, a 1-hour documentary about Puerto Rico, the Hurricane Maria there from last fall. Ryan went there. And I'm going to let you talk about the whole premiere itself, but let's talk about the experience of Puerto Rico.
Where should I start?
So you went back in March.
We did. Yep.
You went for a week.
Yep.
And talk to us about how many students went along to do that.
So it was really cool because we were really excited to get a lot of CDC students involved. So through the building trades class at the CDC and also one student from video production, we had a total of 5 students that actually traveled to Puerto Rico, most of which had never flown before. So it was a really cool opportunity for them.
It's definitely an eye-opening experience, especially when you're not going for vacation, you're going to help people who have been devastated by a Category 5 hurricane. So what was it like when you landed? You were packing batteries, you weren't sure if you had power, you weren't sure, all these things. So
yeah, it was interesting going in because normally when I pack gear, I'll bring, as you know, maybe enough battery for 4 hours of shooting, but expecting to shoot for 2 hours. But this was a week long. I shot, I think it was something like 300 gigs of footage, so equal to what I might shoot in 6 months when I'm not in Puerto Rico. So I packed lightly, I packed the right amount of gear, and I was pretty happy with how that worked. So I think it worked out pretty nicely on that end.
Yeah, I mean, you packed in like just one of our little cases. You took a camera and GoPros, even got a little drone in there. It was a very versatile little pack you had there.
Yeah, the little setup allowed for, including my cell phone, like 5 cameras, I think. And I used every camera at least a few times.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How many houses did you see or help?
We were assigned by FEMA. Well, first of all, we were the first group to ever do what's called the Valor program through FEMA. So we were assigned 5 houses by FEMA, and we immediately said one was not fit to be repaired because it was so badly damaged. We would have to rebuild the whole house. So unfortunately, we couldn't do that. We worked on 4 total houses. We finished one completely. We finished other projects in another and worked on 2 others. And then the rest of the group, as you'll see in the video, if you do go to the premiere, we were able to do quite a bit while we were there, but then a smaller group for week number 2 stayed and actually continued the work.
Yeah, because you teamed up with some people from Chicago, correct?
Yes. There were 8 or 9 people from Chicago, Monarchs flying through.
Ooh, nice.
And we had 24 people total, including the students, 9 people from Chicago, and then we had, many of them were Habitat for Humanity volunteers. So it was a really cool group of skilled volunteers.
Yes, I guess we should mention you went with the local Bennington Habitat for Humanity. So
exactly.
Remind me, like, who was part of that, who volunteered for that? Because you had a lot of people, not just CDC students go, but a lot of other volunteers.
Yeah, a lot of familiar faces locally. So Jim Goodine, a retired builder, he says he's retired, but he works all the time. But a great guy. He planned the trip. His wife's Puerto Rican, so that inspired him to begin planning. And basically, through Habitat and through a lot of other groups like the Greater Bennington Interfaith Council, we planned a really successful trip and were able to get a lot done.
Awesome. That's excellent. So you helped a few houses, mostly rebuilding roofs, correct?
Yes. Yeah, we weren't sure even a week before what we were going to actually be doing because everything was up in the air. We did a lot of cleaning, but we focused greatly on roofs because when I got there, we saw so many homes with basically from the walls up were gone.
Wow.
So you could sit in their living room, look straight up, and there's the sky. So every day when it rains, kitchens, bedrooms, everything were getting flooded.
Everything's getting re-destroyed.
Oh yeah, and you can't even sleep on a bed if it's getting rained on every day. So yeah, it was super intense.
So what do you think the kids took away from that? I mean, obviously it's a huge experience for anyone, but being so young.
The cool thing is, in the premiere, you can hear what the kids have to say from their perspective, but I think it'll change a lot of their lives. I think a lot of the students probably will even consider that experience when deciding how they want to go about their careers and their futures. They might look to do things like that in the future, which is awesome. You can't ask for more, you know?
No, that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean...
Definitely a meaningful experience that people right here in Bennington are doing. You know, you don't have to be in a big city to help things like that. You can be right here in the town and help donate. So I guess maybe I'll again, save you talking about the premiere itself, but if
Sure.
anyone wants to get involved to help, how
That's
should
a
they
good
get
question.
in touch with you or donate further to
Yeah.
the
So,
Habitat?
my name is Ryan. I'm at Cat TV. I can get people in touch with Jim Goodine for future help. We are doing fundraisers at the event, and we've made connections. So, sort of separately from the Valor program, the FEMA program, we're actually 100% of the proceeds that we're raising directly go to help people currently. So we're actually still hiring local contractors in Puerto Rico, and we're building homes through those contacts. So people that were affected by the hurricane are still getting their homes fixed by us remotely while we're in Bennington. So it's cool that we can continue to help.
Yep.
We've helped families after the trip. So we couldn't ask for a better connection either.
Right.
The local municipality, one of the towns in Puerto Rico, is helping for free with manpower or people power and labor, and they're managing a lot of that side of things so that we can actually continue to build for people.
That's
So
awesome. And does
it's
Jim
awesome.
foresee like maybe another trip next
Yeah,
year?
I would say
or
so.
Is it
There's-
in the works, or is it just a
Definitely.
thought?
There's definitely there's a lot of conversation taking place for a trip again next year, to probably a longer trip,
Okay.
to do more, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Now
Well,
that we
again,
have the homework done and the
Nothing can be done
trial
all
and
in a
error
week,
was
so.
executed, so now we can continue to actually help.
Awesome.
That's really cool.
That's great.
Yeah.
So,
If we have some time, I could talk about Sienna. She did a really
Sure.
good job. She's a video production student. She took Tim Foley's. I think you took Tim Foley's class, right? So three, including Sienna, the three of us have taken Tim Foley's class, and for that class, Sienna, the CDC student, produced her own documentary.
Awesome.
And she did a really good job. And what's really cool is she is Puerto Rican. It was her first time to Puerto Rico, and it was an eye-opening and amazing experience for her. So she and I had a chance to talk, and you'll actually see some of that in the video if you come to the premiere. And she was blown away by the experiences. So it was cool to see her experience.
right,
that.
yeah. If this is your home country, but this is your first time here, it's
Yeah.
not exactly how you want to go there the first time. You'd rather be there enjoying the island and everything like that in the country. So, but definitely. So June 6th is the premiere. Ryan will be on a little later to talk about everything there that's going to be happening that evening. But just keep your calendar free. June 6th, 6 p.m. at the Laumeister Arts Center.
We will be doing some cool things. So there's more than just the movie. We have some food, some fundraisers, some raffles, really cool prizes, I must say.
Yes.
From lots of local businesses, and it's really going to be a cool event and a good chance for people to be the first audience to ever see the Puerto Rico Rebuilding Puerto Rico documentary.
So yeah, let's talk about, I guess now that you came back, what was your process? I mean, this is a long thing to do for an hour-long documentary. Did you, as you were going along, were you thinking about the process, like that's a good shot, I should put that here, what, your storyboard? I guess let's talk about that for a minute.
It was, as you know, the workflow can vary on different projects, but I've never taken on such a, I guess, large project, such a meaningful project. And so I worked for 112 hours, I guessed, about 112 hours in the week, and I shot probably 50 hours of footage. So I went through and basically, I was taking notes while I was there. I didn't really use all my notes once I got back, so I changed things a little bit, but it's a matter of trying to tell the audience about the trip without changing the story and without like giving away too much or not showing enough, if that makes sense. So you want a really good balance. So I spent probably a week or two just looking through all my footage and planning. And since then, it's been 2 months of nonstop editing. So
yeah, I'd say so. I see you there moving. It's an hour-long documentary is huge in terms of the timeline on the computer, the amount of footage you're going through. 2 weeks. Yeah, for one person. Usually, if you're lucky on a documentary like that, you've got someone who's already sifting through the footage, placing that in your timeline for you to have a go at editing. So definitely a long process.
It could be. the same documentary could be for a crew of 10, even
Right.
or even 50 if it were for Netflix or something. But one person doing one or even longer, 1 hour or even longer documentary, it's a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, absolutely.
But yeah, if you want, come and check it out. June 6th, 6 o'clock at the Laumeister Art Center. Sweet.